I'm at 6214 Ridgewood Court in Florence, Kentucky. We're doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, anything that would be concerning to the buyer. Our access location is a roof vent. There's a stack that runs down, I'm sure behind the bathrooms and into the basement, but they have drywalled over it. And so this was our only option. The problem is we'll have to go deep and hope that there's no major offsets or anything in this stack, and so that we can complete the inspection. We tried to go through the sink line, but it is too small a diameter of pipe to be able to get the camera through, because it's cast iron, and that cast iron is kind of rusted just enough to where the camera is too big. So it looks like we have PVC above ground, and then probably cast iron below ground, but we'll have to see, because I did just turn horizontally, and so maybe some of this has been, yeah, looks like the vent has dog legs, because now we're still vertical. And there we go, we've gone horizontal and we are in cast iron. Now, cast iron is not a bad material, but it is very, very rough, because it does rust. And so I always want to make sure that we talk about how you never want to use any kind of wet wipes or anything in cast iron. It's even more important than other materials, due to the nature of the line. Because those wet wipes do not break down, and so if they get stuck, they won't disintegrate like toilet paper. And so if they just get caught on something, which is sometimes easy to have happen in cast iron, they can't make their way. This could be a little bit of an issue. I don't know how far we're going to get. Maybe we'll try to run some water here and see if that helps. But because of the turn before it even gets down into the floor, seems like it's already bunching up in the line and not wanting to push forward. And of course, because the line is cast iron and rough, it's kind of fighting the inspection here. Cast iron does look like it's in pretty good shape for its age. It's wide open, like this holds shape well. That white stuff is grease coming from the kitchen line, and sometimes the laundry. The liquid fabric softener can also has an oily base to it, can cause that coating. I mean, now we could get really lucky and find another clean out on the inside of the house. So it looks like we are coming out into clay, which is the normal material for this age of home, is to switch to clay on the exterior. So what I'm going to try to do is have some water run. Maybe that'll help push the camera out a little bit. But I'm sure I'm making a ton of noise. I'm out almost 50 feet, but barely got out of the house so far. And the sewer main, I believe, is all the way across the street. So we've got a long way to go still. So I'm going to pause the video, kind of see where we are relatively, and see if we can run some water that might help us run a little bit. Okay, we got the water running. This actually kind of looks like PVC. It's kind of hard to tell because it's got that white coating on it, but normally it would be clay. I'm going to run some water here. There we go. But it does kind of look like PVC actually. So that would be good. It would be very strange to have cast iron in the house and PVC outside it. But I'm hoping that the water can help kind of push the camera along a little bit, but it doesn't seem like it's doing a whole lot just yet. But it actually looks like PVC on the exterior, so it's rather strange. But to have that combo of materials, they have PVC on the verticals in this. Then they put cast iron under the floor, which would have been really odd, which is really odd that they went back to PVC once they exited the house. So you're going to hear this noise as we slowly inch down the pipe. Hopefully we get a little bit of drop on the line and maybe helps take the camera with it. PVC is the best case scenario for this line. Clay is a good material, but it tends to be, it's very common for clay to let in roots, and PVC is a lot better at that because the joints are glued. So this is very good news for the buyer. A little bit at a time.
And your camera head up though? No. So you hit all that.
I'm gonna turn the audio off for a second. Okay, it looks like I'm at, we're going to turn the water off. I'm going to pause the video, we're going to turn the water off so I can take a better look at this, and I'm also going to locate to see where I am, if it went out the front or the rear. But the, looks like I'm up against a transition. Looks like it's transitioning over to clay when it got out to the end of the property, which is probably means that the sewer main and the rest of the lateral is in clay. And if you look real close, you'll see that this is like the end. This is a connection where it goes, where it changes material. And so there's a little offset there. There's really nothing I can do about getting my camera behind this enough to get it over that offset. It's just hitting the edge of the pipe. And without better access, I can't get enough force behind it to even get it to jump over this offset. So I am going to, like I just mentioned, I'm going to pause the video. I am going to get a locate, find out where it is, see if I can line something up to see if there's another floor clean out underneath some boxes or something, and we'll go from there. Okay, so you can see this offset, but we did find a clean out in the floor in the basement. So there is a transition. We'll be able to tell immediately where we are. But I didn't see, the good news is I didn't see any issues in this section. Now somebody just flushed the toilet, so we'll be able to see that. But we didn't see any structural issues at all up until this point, and we'll be able to recognize where we are when we get past that point, just due to the transition in material. And so recording, and we will try to make it move down to the basement. Even cast iron looks like it's in pretty good shape. So I'm going to pause the video and make a move downstairs. If anything does happen to the recording from here on, we'll just have to make two separate files. But again, we're going to pause and make a move. Alright, we made a move to the laundry room right in between the washer and dryer. There's a floor clean out. So, going to go see if we can get this to push out past there. We should only have to go about 40 feet or so, I think, before we get out past the point where we left off earlier. It's just a little difficult to get back in here to push the camera. Like I said, the cast iron looks like it's in pretty good shape. It's held shape very well. And here we are going back into the PVC. And like I said, I think maybe around 40 feet or so we should probably be hitting that transition. Now, just a reminder that this camera lens is only about a ½ an inch off the bottom of the pipe, so this is not a whole lot of water. And there's that transition.
kind of a turn too. There we go. Alright, so we did get past that point. That transition is not a concern. It's a pretty normal transition. Just a little bit of a water overtakes it easy. And it's just my camera and the angle we were hitting it at. So there is a decent amount of grease buildup in here. Like I mentioned, this could be also be from liquid fabric softener. That white coating you see is just grease. So far, even the clay line looks pretty good. Again, the most common thing we usually see with clay is root intrusion. Again, this is not much water. Try to see what the water level is. Like the edge. So hopefully on the way back we'll be able to see in these areas. Slightly above that water line, but we know that the water line isn't high enough to be a concern. It's only about a half an inch, like I said. The biggest thing we have is I'm just scraping that grease up on the bottom of the line, so there's definitely a lot of grease buildup in this line, which is I don't know what they're dumping down here, but usually you don't see quite this much grease. Second, I can't really get much behind this due to where oops. Off the property, but I'm going to turn the water on, see if we can get a little bit of help getting the camera out further. Probably should have used the large camera, but I already had the little one out, using it from the roof, and so leave this running for a minute. There's a little bit of water coming up from behind, but it's going to take a minute for the full flow to get to this. And hopefully that little bit of flow will help. Well, that's all it took here at the main, so good. So we made it all the way out to the main. Now we're just going to see if we can get the camera lines rinsed off of that grease. Try to get it to turn and drop down into that water line. Well, it's not really wanting to come in, so everything you can see, it's just a little smudge from all the grease on the way out. I do know that there's no structural issues you can see, but usually a lot clearer than that. Alright, the line looked really good. I didn't see anything of any concern, not even any root intrusion like I mentioned, which is usually what we see on lines of this aging material. Even in these areas where we were pushing water in front of us on the way out, we're not really even. You can see above that water line as we pull back. Turn, I think. I'm going to go ahead and shut the water off now. You can see that it's just barely a half an inch of water, which with the water flowing is not. It's normal, obviously. This water's flowing through there, but just want to make sure we can see. We're back in the PVC. Push the camera out a little bit. Cast iron. We were able to inspect all the main part of the cast iron from the roof, and we made it all the way out to the main. So the line looked really good for its age and material. It was in great shape. All the connections looked nice and tight, and didn't see any structural issues, no root intrusion. Everything looked great. There's a weird combination of materials going from cast iron to PVC outside and then clay when it leaves the property. But overall, everything was in good shape. The transition is a normal kind of situation with that transition where there's a hair of a little lip there. But overall, the line was in great shape. You just need to make sure you're not using anything you shouldn't as far as the cast iron is concerned, so things. You don't get a soft clog from the toilet paper or the wet wipes or anything. But yeah, structurally the line looks great. So that's going to end the inspection at 6214 Ridgewood Court in Florence, Kentucky.